Hey, this is Mike here with Cuisine Deluxe 7.0. Wanted to do this video on showing the find function and how it's actually very powerful, even though it has just simple, easy to use menus. So right now we have the sample 1001 recipes that are included with Computer Cuisine. And let's say you want to find a particular recipe. Click over to the find menu. And obviously you can search through the main criteria right here, which is your name, ingredients, the method, that sort of thing. But you can do detailed recipe searches based on nutritional information, if your recipe has a photo or not, your particular favorite recipes, your ratings, and such. So let's just do a simple search for anything that has the word chocolate in it. I'm just going to type chalk just to get you going. And now you can either click this enter button or hit enter, the enter key on your computer to activate the search. Now the enter key is not the return key. The enter key is different. So make sure it says enter and not return. So click the enter key and you'll see that we have 11 recipes here that are currently found, and they all have chocolate in the title. So the reason I wanted to point this out is because oftentimes you'll see recipes found. Now there's only 11. If you go back to the main menu, you're going to see recipe 1 of 11. Some people may now think, oh no, where are my recipes? They're all deleted. But no, the way this is set up is that you can have all your recipes in your collection, but for certain functions, you may want to only print out all of the chocolate recipes, let's say. So this allows you to find those recipes, and then you can print from what's currently found and such. Now, if you ever want to show your complete recipe collection back again, you just click the show all button. Once I do that, it's now 1001 recipes. You can click sort to go alphabetically, and you're good to go. You're starting from A to Z, and you have your complete recipe collection once again. So if we go back to the find menu, you can also do a search for, let's say, just your favorite recipes. So we'll click yes, hit enter, and you'll see by the list that all the recipes here are your favorites because the little heart is filled in. So as you scroll down, you can see there are 35 different recipes here that are your favorites, and so you can obviously click on any one of them. Let's go to Irish coffee, and go to Irish coffee, and then you have your current recipe on display. Once again, there's only 13 of 35 showing, so if you want to get all of them back on display, just click show all. Let's go back to do a find, and you can also do a search for if there are your own custom photos included on those recipes as opposed to the generic photos that are included. So you click yes, you'll see in the list that if it has a photo, the photo icon is there, so it properly shows all of them, and there are 8 photos out of the 1001 that have custom photos, so you can see those photos, and you can always scroll throughout those recipes either forwards or backwards using these little arrow buttons right here. So let's go ahead and show all. Now, another thing you may want to keep in mind is that some people ask me if you can have separate recipe cookbooks. Now, can you have something separate? And I try to tell them that you don't need that. What you can do is simply create multiple cookbooks within the same collection. So you just want to add different criteria. I'm going to go to the notes menu right here. And so you just want to add separate criterias when you do your searches, and then that will allow you to have sort of separate cookbooks within the same recipe collection. So for example, I'm going to put in the notes area that instead of being from my name, I'm going to copy this so I don't have to retype it later. Instead of the recipe from my name, I'm going to put that it's from Alton Brown. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to show all, sort, and go back to the main recipe listing. Now, one of those recipes out of the 1001 is from Alton Brown. So you could technically have a separate Alton Brown cookbook within this collection simply by adding Alton Brown's name to the recipe from section. So how do you reveal those? Well, you just use the find menu. So once again, you do find, and now you do recipe from the name, and you do Alton Brown. Once you click enter, there's now one recipe on display, so there's 1 of 1, essentially. So let's say there were 15 that you entered from Alton Brown. So that way you can have those Alton Brown recipes punch up just when you need them so that you can scroll through them. In this case, we only have 1. but you could scroll through them at a later date so that you sort of have that Alton Brown cookbook within your recipe collection, yet it's not a separate cookbook. Everything's nicely neat and all in one in your main recipe collection. So the more criteria that you enter in these notes or in other parts of the recipe, the more information that you can later search for at a different time to have that multiple cookbook aspect, so to speak. Like you could do a search for the email, let's say, of a particular person, and then you can have that cookbook separate as these are all recipes from Mike at enakasoftware.com and so on. So just keep that in mind when you're entering in information, because the more information that you can enter, the better that you can filter it out through the find menu. So always click show all if you want to have your recipe collection back, sort it out, and go to the main recipe listing, and you're always back to where you started. Thanks.